across the pond, Microsoft is still pushing to gain the United Kingdom's approval over the $69 billion U.S. merger that was first proposed in 2022. So still with us, we've got Yahoo Finance's Dan Howley. Dan, what can you tell us about this latest push for approval in the UK?
Yeah, this is kind of a strange kind of move on Microsoft's part. Basically, what they're saying is they're ceding the rights to their the ability to stream games to competitor Ubisoft. Microsoft, obviously, they make the Xbox console. They have the streaming service. Ubisoft has its own streaming service. They also publish their own games. So they're a friend and foe at the same time. So what happens here is that Microsoft would the games that would be on the cloud would go to Ubisoft. Ubisoft would pay Microsoft a one-time payment, and then royalties for games. Then Microsoft would have to license them back from Ubisoft to themselves. Ubisoft would also be able to license them to other cloud providers. That's with the exception of the EU, where the existing kind of rules that they put in place around this deal would continue to remain. So Microsoft essentially saying, look, we want to be able to stream these games. We want to be in the cloud streaming market, but we won't abandon this deal if that's what if it means keeping cloud streaming. So they're still going to be able to do this. It doesn't mean they won't be able to do things like stream Call of Duty. They'll just have to go through Ubisoft to be able to do it. But when it comes to Ubisoft, I mean, look, I think that Microsoft is the larger player here. I mean, clearly, so as far as the competition that they have to offer to Microsoft, it's not going to be that big. But this will give them a nice boost as far as the overall gaming market goes. And cloud gaming is still very early on. This isn't something that, you would talk to most people. How do you play games? They'll either say on mobile, whether that's, just regular old mobile games, or on a console or PC. Then they would say streaming games. So this is still very early. This would happen for the next 15 years, this deal between Ubisoft and Microsoft. The games that happen in the interim in those 15 years would be licensed to Ubisoft in perpetuity for the cloud. But yeah, I mean, look, this is something that's going to potentially get the deal across the threshold for Microsoft. I think that's what they're most interested in here. Don't forget, they're still trying to really dominate the mobile side of things with the cloud. So we'll see how this all kind of plays out.
So will this make gamers happy at the end of the day?
I think it will. I think it all depends, right? Because Microsoft is now going to have to work to get the games from Ubisoft onto Xbox Game Pass, which is their cloud streaming offering, or the highest level of the Xbox Game Pass. It'll also be available on PlayStation. Sony can also license them, and NVIDIA can also license them. So it'll be available in more areas. It's not necessarily going to be as though it's cut out, but companies still, Microsoft, Sony, still have to try to get these games on their consoles. So the fact that they have to be now working to get them on their cloud streaming platforms, that might be a little annoying to gamers. But I think, look, the more access that they have, the better in general.
Well, I believe October 18th is that deadline, so we'll see if this ends up getting approved by then. Thanks so much, Dan. Appreciate it.